Gatha on opening the sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I want to try something a bit ambitious tonight, but I think it's important and very relevant to the preparations for Soke's funeral. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has done so much to get the Sangha ready to receive all of the folks that will be coming and to give Soke this incredible send-off and to really meet the moment that we're in so beautifully. Thank you. So we will be reading from the Tibetan Book of the Dead as part of the vigil. And it's been occurring to me that we don't actually talk a lot about the traditional teachings of what happens at death. Like what actually is going on according to the tradition. Of course, there are many ways to talk about what happens during death. You can do it scientifically. Here, we're doing it spiritually, religiously. And we have to just appreciate that this is one way of understanding the death process. It is our way in the Buddhist tradition. So, in Buddhism, we want to transform ordinary death into a time when we can realize fully and completely the three bodies of the Buddha: the Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya. Tonight, I'm mostly going to focus on the actual death experience, which is associated with the Dharmakaya, the absolute body of the Buddha, the unobstructed body of the Buddha, the boundless body of the Buddha. The Sambhogakaya aspect, the illusion body of the Buddha, the reward body of the Buddha, the bliss body of the Buddha, in this case, is going to correspond to the Bardo experience after death, when the consciousness is released from the indestructible drop. And rebirth is associated with Nirmanakaya, the visual, the form body of the Buddha. Okay. So, according to tradition, having a human body is the best form to realize our Buddhahood. It is said within our short lifespan, because we were born from a womb and we have all of these 6 elements, which I'll go over, because these are the 6 elements that are going to dissolve during death. Because we have the 6 elements and we have all of the ki and energy that move through 72,000 channels in our body. We use these, it's on this basis of these elements and this energetic movement of the body that we realize our Buddhahood. Quickly, quickly, quickly. So again, when you say that line of precious human life, right? Because this is the best vehicle. And we have the best opportunity because we are together and we have the teachings. Okay. So, as I said, I don't think I did say something that's important, actually. So I'm taking this from Rinpoche's transcript, Death, Intermediate State, and Rebirth. So I'm going to go over it pretty quickly. If you're interested in taking a deeper dive, you can find the book. So out of those 72,000 channels in the body, there are 3 that are really important. The central channel, and the left channel, and the right channel. In death, all of our energies that are moving through the 72,000 channels find their way into the central channel. And from the central channel, which goes like from the sex organs up to, I think, eyebrow, then inside the central channel, everything dissolves into the heart center. Now, what's so interesting is we're moving through this dissolution process. For those who do the White Tara sadhana, you will start to notice how the sadhana is working with and through this dissolution process. Okay. So normally, the right and the left channels, which are associated with aggression, hatred, and the other one is associated with craving, desire, right? That's the normal, ordinary, like samsaric, run-of-the-mill mind that we all have, right? And these 2 channels, they're so clogged and so full that they wrap around the central channel, and they basically cut it off. But when we die, that central channel opens, as well as when we're meditating and doing zazen and doing our prayers and all the things. So, it's said that the energy at the heart chakra is considered to be extremely subtle, and there's a kind of energy-mind nexus at the heart center. Very, very subtle. And it's also the energy that holds life. When we're dying, everything dissolves into this, what's called the indestructible drop. And that, of course, takes as long as it takes. With Soke, we got a message that she would be dying within 24 hours. And she didn't die within 24 hours. According to the tradition, if there's any kind of an energy pocket that's remaining in the body, that provides the basis for consciousness. So the consciousness can still function inside the body, and it's going to stay there. I mentioned this on Sunday. The mind is considered to be the rider, the horse person, and the air is the horse. So the mind is riding the air and the energies, okay? So what actually dissolves in death? And Rinpoche says, 25 things. And I'm going through this really quickly, just let it sort of wash over you. It's the 5 aggregates, the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water, the 6 consciousness, the eye consciousness, ear consciousness. You can remember the Lankavatara Sutra as we're working on this. 5 objects and 5 wisdoms. So the first thing to dissolve is the aggregates. Physical form is the first one to go. And each one of these aggregates is also associated with a wisdom quality. And in this case, the aggregate of physical form is associated with mirror-like wisdom and the earth element. So this mirror-like wisdom is associated also with the I consciousness. So you can see how we're starting to pull out the aggregates, the elements, the consciousnesses. And Rinpoche goes on to talk about how there's an outer and an inner sign of dissolution. On the outer level, the body just gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and weaker and weaker and weaker. And he points out that actually this death process starts for us at 25 years old. And we all know after a certain age, you got to wear your glasses and so forth and so on. You can't, you're not as strong, your muscles are just atrophying a little bit there. So as the physical form is starting to dissolve, the body gets very floppy and weak. And he said that we feel like we're sinking, right? As we're really starting that death process in earnest. And I remember someone saying to me that one of the things when Soke first got to the hospice, she was sort of reaching out. One wonders, We also lose control of our eyes. So our eyes that can sort of see everything, almost like the lens of a camera. It's like they're blinking in and out. And most importantly, it is said that we lose our majestic look, right? We lose our majestic look. That's the first dissolution. The second dissolution is the dissolution of feeling. So the sign of the aggregate of feeling dissolving is that we no longer actually feel good, bad, neutral. All the joy, all the suffering, we can't remember what is a good feeling, what is a bad feeling. Everything is gone. So next time you're like in a tizzy about something and just carrying on and on and on about your emotional involvement with something, perhaps just think about your death. It's all going to be gone, 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 right? And if we can't make good use of it here to realize our Buddha nature, and instead we just increase our pain body, what are we doing? We've got to get really clear on that. And here, the element of water starts to dissolve. So the saliva goes. I understand that in hospice, they swab your mouth because it's really, really dry. So the sweat, the urine, the blood, everything starts to dry up. And here, ear consciousness is lost. So we stop hearing internally and externally. For the dying person, there seems to be like a smoke-like appearance filling the room. So you're actually you're just totally withdrawing from all of the sense gates, right? They're dissolving, and what's left? This smoke-like appearance. The next dissolution is discrimination. We literally can't remember a thing. We don't know who our wife is. We don't know who our daughter is. We don't know who our husband is. We can't remember people's names. And here, the fire element begins to dissolve, and we get cold, really cold. Can't digest food. The sense of smell completely diminishes. The breath is very weak on the inhale and stronger on the exhale. Internally, we don't smell a thing. And here, that smoky sense of the room being filled with smoke begins to shift, and we start seeing little fire sparks, almost like fireflies, it said. The smoke recedes and the sparks come forth. The next dissolution is the compositional factors. No more physical movement. You're lying in that bed and you're not moving. Everybody knows you're dying, right? There's no way your body is going to be able to move. Here, the air element is beginning to dissolve. And all of the airs dissolve into the heart level. The tongue consciousness dissolves. You can't taste anything. It said that the tongue gets very thick and the root of the tongue gets blue. Internally, we see like a candlelight flickering on the wall. The fifth dissolution is the 80 conceptions and winds that the thoughts are riding on. The mind itself, the thoughts, all dissolve. So that means like mostly the gross thoughts all dissolve. And we're only left with our subtle thought. When all of the gross thoughts dissolve, what then? This candle light flickering begins to fade. We are now in the sixth dissolution, the mind of white, radiant appearance. Something very open, spacious, like open air, a clear sky begins to open up, and a white, natural light appears. Right. So the energy in the central channel begins to move up into the head area, the chakra area, crown chakra. And it is said that the white seed of the Father is in the crown chakra. And these energies that are moving into the crown chakra, they dissolve. Apparently there's this knot holding this seed from the Father. Completely dissolve the knot, and this white appearance flows from the crown into the heart center. And it is said that it descends like bliss, coming down. And it's held in the heart for a time. It said there are 6 knots in the heart. Then the 7th dissolution comes, and that comes from the bottom. This is called the mind of radiant red increase. So that whitish, radiant appearance begins to turn a reddish, radiant red. At this point, external death has been completed, and all of this is happening internally. So this red dot is at the base of the sex organs, and these airs go down and they're opening the knots, and the red drop starts to travel up, dissolving navel knots. And the egg from the mother, the red dot, comes up to the heart level. For those who do the Tara sadhana, we always dissolve Tara into your heart center. The 8th dissolution, the mind of black near attainment. So this reddish light begins to turn into a darkness. In the beginning, it's like the evening dark, really thick, like we have out there right now. In this time, all of the other airs, anything that's flowing still in the body, travels to the central channel at the heart level. So at the heart level, there is this indestructible drop that I've been speaking of. And the airs dissolve all of the knots at the heart level. So this drop is freed, right? At this point, the person experiencing this process, everything is blank, like anesthesia. Gone, gone, gone. But here, the subtle mind and the very, very subtle energy, they regain a slight memory. This is so interesting. Regain a slight memory all of us have come into this life with this slight memory of Buddhahood, of awakening. And it's constantly beckoning us. And that slight memory is called the clear light of death. The black dissolves into the feeling of pure, clean autumn moon. Now, white Tara is this pure, clean autumn moon. We perceive only the void and whitish. So this void, for those who are practicing and who are really like gotten so accustomed to the groundlessness of their life, this void is not scary. This void is a warm-hearted spaciousness. Out of this dark is the clear light of death. It comes out of the lower end of the darkness. There's no feeling, no perception, no sense of separation between the light and yourself. Just one. There's not even a self to think about. At this point, the red dot and the white dot are dissolved into the indestructible dot. And then that dissolves. And that is our actual death. At this moment, this is the most critical moment for practice, because we can realize full and complete Dharmakaya of the Buddha. Everybody has this moment and this chance to realize this fact. There's not one person alive who does not realize and know this fact and this truth. It is said that we mix the mother clear light of the truth of reality with our child clear light, whatever we have developed in our lifetime. You'll notice during the funeral, we'll say something from about the union of clear light and bliss body. This is where we're talking. Rinpoche says to bring the wisdom of emptiness here. This is the most quiet period, quiet beyond quiet. And of course, when we're in the Zendo, are we not in this most quiet period? Quiet beyond quiet. This is kind of interesting. So people who've been practicing for a long time can stay in this meditative state for a long time. That's where like the body doesn't decay, and you hear stories of great yogis, sitting upright, and even though they're dead, they're kind of not dead, and their skin is still pink and stuff like that. This part is so interesting. Something happens. Rinpoche says there's some kind of a shaking, and at that moment, then the drop opens, right? So you're no longer in that meditative mixing of the clear light and the mother light. And as soon as that drop opens, the consciousness jumps out, right? And a new form is established. In Tsongkhapa, he talked about it and said it's kind of like being on a scale. When one goes down, the other one goes up. It's immediate. Boom. And as soon as you jump out, you're now in the Bardo state. And this is also really interesting. Your Bardo body is formed out of the 5 colored luminous airs. And for those who do the Tara sadhana, we do those colored shields. So your consciousness is taking that with you. And the 5 colored luminous airs, which I don't think it's necessary to do the Tara shields in order to encounter these luminous airs. This reminds me of, in certain traditions, you want to get a rainbow body, right? So this body of light combines with our own consciousness to establish the Bardo. So our consciousness, the karmic imprints that we carry with us, establish our own Bardo. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. So, let's have a good life so that we can have a good death, so that we can Buddha up and be of use. This is happening and coming to us all. We have the opportunity now in life to do no harm, to practice the Dharma, to practice good, and to actualize good for others, so that we can take care of what's to come to the best of our ability. So the Bardo body is sometimes called the air body. It's also a smell eater. The Bardo body lives on scent. We're always making offerings of incense. So I don't know what's exactly happening with the Soke right now. People can stay in the Bardo. They can move through it very quickly, or they can stay for 49 days. Of course, you're not a person anymore, but this Bardo body can live for 49 days. So what we're doing in the funeral and in the vigil and in all of these preparations is really giving Soke the support that she needs to move through this Bardo as an awakened being, as an awakening being. I thank you all for coming tonight. I hope this is of some use. If you would like to learn more, there's certainly more that you could read. This was very cursory, but important to have it voiced in the temple.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them.